Hello, welcome to Technology Expresso's Media and Education Series. I'm Jacqueline Sanders Blackman, and I want to welcome you to the first part of our Hot Opportunities, Hot Jobs webinar series. I myself have been in the IT field for over 30 years, and I must say that I tell people all the time, I love my job. Maybe not every day in every aspect, but when I look at the big picture and of the problems we solved, the solutions we provided, the clients that we've helped, it is so exciting to me. And that's why I love the opportunity to speak with others and to share my passion. Not only has technology been a great career field, but it's afforded me so many opportunities to meet people, to travel, to learn about other industries. And I'm always looking for the opportunity to share my passion with others and to show them the tech in them. A lot of people don't see themselves as being technical or techies, but I often see it in people before they see it in themselves. And that's what this series is all about. So again, thank you for joining, and let's get started. So I'm going to take you through really a series of slides that's just going to set up future conversations and future webinars related to the topic. So let's first of all talk about who is affected by this technology evolution or revolution even. But you can see here from my quote, 80% of all jobs and 98% of all college degrees require capable and proficiency in the use of computers and the internet. It's now the baseline. It's not a luxury to understand technology. It's a part of our lives. It's ingrained in all aspects. And one thing that you'll see as we continue, surprisingly, you're probably already engaged in technology. You may not think of it that way, but in fact, there's probably more of a techie inside of you than you even realize. The irony is that the digital revolution is causing us to move faster. The pace is changing of our world around us. On the one hand, it's great because technology can make us more productive. Just think about how connected we are. I have to chuckle when I'm talking to people and we're reflecting back to the quote-unquote good old days, and we're talking about telephones and how they were connected to the wall in your home. And if you had to go somewhere, if you got in your car, you just didn't talk to people until you got back close to a telephone or to your location where there was a telephone. There wasn't any communications while you're on the road. There wasn't being connected to the internet. There wasn't no GPS. For example, you had to print out, you had maps, and I remember when MapQuest came along, and that was even exciting. You could print your map and try to read and drive as you went along. Now we have our cars talking to us and telling us, turn left, turn right. All of this is making us more productive. But also bear in mind, though, technology is causing this skill gap. Because what people aren't realizing is that when the computer is in your car is talking to you, or when the phone that you now hold has all these different apps on it, there is a whole industry of people that have to program these, that have to code them, design them to do each and everything. This is just hardware. This is just plastic and some wires. It's an empty shell until someone comes in and programs it in every possible aspect. And this is where the jobs come in. But what we have to do is, as we move faster and we come up with these new ideas, we've got to make sure that we have the skill set to build these visions that we have for how technology can help make our lifestyle and living better. It'll be a sad day when we have these great ideas and these great visions, and the systems are capable of doing them, but there's no one there to program them and test them and to implement them. That's what we want to avoid. Speaking of avoiding, you know what? Technology is everywhere. Think about everything from even the Dropbox to eBay, Etsy, Facebook. The list here, just these top 12. I'm sure you're familiar with these. These all are part of the IT and the technology industries. These are different applications. You hear us often talk about apps. Apps is a short form of applications. These are things that we use to apply using technology, whether it's watching movies or whether it's listening to your music. You know, I look at Wikipedia, one of my favorites. It's the new encyclopedia. I can remember, again, going back 20, 30 years, when my parents bought a set of encyclopedias for them. It was a group of books, about 30, 40 books, and it sat on the shelf in the home. This is how we looked up things. But again, the minute those books were printed, the information became obsolete. That's not the case in today's world. So you're engaged one way or another. You probably can pick out, I would dare say, 3 or 4 things off of this list that you can relate to. And these are just some of the bigger or buzzwords that a lot of people recognize. But underneath all of these are others that you probably can relate to as well. You know, because this presentation is about technology and encouraging people to look at the opportunities that there are and to try to find out how you can fit and adjust your skills so that you can be more engaged in the technology field, taking advantage of the wide open job opportunities and career opportunities. One thing comes to mind. You can always come up with excuses. But this opportunity that I'm talking about, the technology field and the skill gap, it won't always be here. And I'll even say this conversation about technology and the whole science, technology, engineering, math has been around for a while. It didn't just start. So already you've missed some opportunities. So don't sleep on this. It's so important to listen to what I'm saying, even do some research on your own, but you'll come to the conclusion. This opportunity, it's here today, but it could be gone tomorrow. And if you don't want to take advantage of this opportunity, I will say there's other countries you can look from, whether it's India, Africa, Brazil, you can look all across the waters. They're looking at this and they're taking advantage of this opportunity. So you can keep making excuses. Other people are taking your opportunity. Now, again, why now? Maybe you have a job. Maybe you even have a degree in another area. But at the same time, now is the time that you need to do a very honest inventory of where you are. You know, and the biggest thing that I can't emphasize enough is that you might be working today, but you might be in a dead-end job. That's the difference between a thriving and living industry such as technology that is just bursting at the seams with new innovation, new sources of income. People are pouring money. They're interested. They're focused on technology. So this is a thriving, booming industry that's not going anywhere, because you have to realize for every new thing that we build, there's also all of those previous technologies that people have bought into that have to continue to be supported. So take a look at this list and again, do a very real inventory of where you are. And I dare say, if any one of these resonate with you, this is why this conversation is so important right now. This is one of those excuses that people sometimes are often hide behind. I'm not a techie. You're not born a techie. No one is born a techie. And some people I know when the word techie comes up, they immediately think about math or science. And they say, I'm not good at math or I'm not good at science. Most of the people, I dare say, including myself, that are in the technical field, you have to work. You had to work at it. Someone had to teach you. You had to have a coach. You might have had a tutor, whatever it takes. But pushing through whatever temporary discomfort for the long-term comfort, lifestyle, and career that you're passionate about. And that's one of the things I say. Don't just go into technology for the money. Look at this list that I have here. You're going to see everything from sports, music, fashion, healthcare, accounting, legal, the whole gamut. That's because technology touches all of these areas. So do find that niche in that area that really speaks and resonates to you, but then connect the dots to how it relates to technology, how it's using and leveraging technology. And even those areas that doesn't have an immediate connection, that's where the innovation comes in. Because there's a way in every industry to leverage technology. That's how new apps, new solutions are born. That's how the big success stories and entrepreneurs, because they look for those areas, figure out how to use technology, and come up with new innovations. So keep that in mind as well. I do want to show you some of the dollars. I've done lots of research. I've been in this area, like I said, pretty much all of my adult life. And the salaries. There's not a salary on this page that isn't over, I used to say $100,000, but you will notice that number 14 and 15 are 99,000. So sorry, those aren't over 100,000. But everything else on my list are over $100,000. These certifications, again, they could take anywhere 6 months, 9 months, at the long stretch, maybe a year. So for a year's worth of education, you could be making over $100,000. Now, it needs to be an area that you're passionate about, and that you're willing to really apply yourself to. I also, you'll note, after some of the salaries, you'll see another number. For the Certified Risk and Information System Controller, number 2, it has 18,000. Certified Information Security, 27,000. You'll see Certified Information System Security Professional, 140,000. That's actually the number of people that have those certifications. As you'll note, line 5, Project Management Professional, over 658,000 people have that certification. And there's still a demand for project managers that can project manage IT projects. Here's some more trends. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. Go out there, just search on salaries, IT industry, technology jobs, and see what comes up. Here's a few other popular certifications. One of them is the A+ certification. And I know several success stories that use the A+ certification to get their first job on a help desk or a service desk, customer service role, and today now have very successful 6-figure careers in IT. So what does it take? Where do you start? I always say one click and you're one step further. You just got to take one step at a time. Get in front of the computer. There's so much information here. And that's one of the things that we lay out in our program. It's all about being self-directed, self-studied, self-motivated. We give you the steps. You do the work. You reap the benefits. That way you don't owe anyone. You don't owe 4-year college loans. It's you do the work and pay as you go. So it's all about defining your target, researching your options, determining your competencies and gaps, continuously closing those gaps, and of course enjoying the journey along the way and creating that lifelong curiosity. One of the things that we're trying to do is raise people's digital literacy. What if someone told you you were illiterate? Now, that would be very offensive in today's times with all the information available. But you may be literate by definition of being able to read and write and doing basic math. But anymore, reading, writing, arithmetic aren't the basics. The basics now include science, technology, engineering, and math. So you may be literate from the perspective of 10 years ago, but in today's day, you have to become digitally literate. And this is one of the areas that we also like to emphasize and like to help you bridge that gap. Digital literacy includes learning new concepts, tools, platforms, skills, methods, and even management risks and challenges that are all involved in the digital world. One of the things that we created is digital badges in various different areas. You can earn these different digital badges, and I dare say, not only will you get your personal satisfaction, but also these are things that you can put as your achievements in your continuous study and professional development on your resume and job application. One of the things as you step into IT is going to be like learning a new language. And all of us, in some forms of fashion, when you move into different industries, you learn the language of that industry. That's the same thing with IT. You have to learn the language. It's one of those areas, especially in IT, you don't know what you don't know. People could be talking around you and dropping words or speaking to you. I dare say if you went to Best Buy and tried to buy a mobile phone, they're using keywords right out of the IT textbook. This is one of the starting points, is getting you to learn and use the vocabulary. That way, when you're hearing conversations, you now can be a part of those conversations. You can relate to those conversations. You're going to learn new words or old words used in a different way as well when it comes to the spectrum of digital literacy. Even how you think is going to be different. One of the things that technology has done, because computer, it has to be so structured, so logical. There is a lot of new conversations and talk about how we think. You'll hear the term critical thinking. Again, that may be a new word for you, but that's an important word that employers are looking for, no matter what area of work you're in. Again, learning the language, speaking the language, is something that you also apply when you go for interviews, when you're speaking with employers or recruiters. These are the things we're going to equip you with early on. The other thing that we do and talk about in our series is that not everything is a 4-year degree. Some of the things that you'll do are we encourage internships and apprenticeships, because I'm very much of the school of learn by doing. So many of our tools and techniques, you're very early on going to get hands-on real-life experience. It's not just enough to ingest all and consume a lot of terms and theories. You've got to live it and do it, because technology, again, is a fast-moving pace. So you have to be a part of it to really absorb it. The other area that I like to call out and emphasize about our approach too is the 80-20 rule of job search. early on, we actually have people looking for jobs even before they go through all of our webinars and get all of their badges. You need to start with the end in mind. What is the target area? What's your area? What's the area that you're passionate about? What's the area, or what's your ideal job? If you went out on the job boards or did your search, which one really speaks to you? Let's lay that one out, and that's the one that we are going to customize your learning experience around. Another thing is acting the part. And by acting the part, it's very much about meeting and mingling the people that are doing the job that resonates with you, the one that you've targeted. We're going to talk a lot about networking very early on. And again, it's an opportunity also to hear the language, the new language that we talked about that you're going to learn, and use the language with other people who also understand it. So definitely changing your surroundings. The next thing that is different and unique about the 15 steps that you see before you is about getting the job and then honing the skills. No one goes into any IT job with all of their skill sets. One of the things about IT and those that are the most successful, they go in there already knowing that they're going to learn, they're going to be molded, they're going to have to adjust, they're going to have to pick up things about that environment and that culture. So already teaching you that technique and mindset, you'll be ready to go from different industries, different companies as needed to help you to develop and progress in your career path. Another area that falls within our 15 steps is mastering your tech confidence, your technology confidence. And a lot of times, like I said, you might be, whether it's on your mobile phone, on your iPad, and the kids and grandkids are pulling you in and getting you Facebook accounts, you already are exposed to technology. But a lot of times people are intimidated because they think that those people already in IT are so much more smarter than them or somehow are gifted. Again, there was no one in my family that had a computer science background. So a lot of things I learned, it's not like I could go to them and get their help. But I did seek out the right network, the right support system above and beyond my family. And then, like I'm doing here, it was so important to me then to take it back to them and expose them as much as possible. One of the things is that in moving into those people that speak the new language, people that are into that mindset of continuously learning and professional development, sometimes you might have some of your friends and family that aren't necessarily in that mindset. Unfortunately, and I mentioned this earlier, it's those excuses that keeps us from getting to where we want to be. It's not the math. It's not the science. It's those voices in your ears, those distractions. That's what you have to make sure you're willing to manage. Because if you set your sights on it, then we can help you with the resources to get you to whatever that ideal job is. But if you let those other mitigating factors distract you, that's going to be your choice. We're going to help you practice and get prepared for that interview. We're going to help you get through those top 10 interview questions. And the best way is through practice. Practice, practice, practice. So that's also part of our formula. Networking. Not everybody is comfortable with networking, and we understand that. But we're not taking any excuses here either. We'll help you. We'll coach you. We'll set up various meetups and opportunities for you to again practice until you find what works for you. LinkedIn. Every professional should have a LinkedIn account. Again, whether you see yourself as a professional or not, we can change that. Everyone we work with is a professional, whether you currently are or a professional in the making. And with that, we want you to have a professional LinkedIn profile. Tech jobs without the 4-year degree. Absolutely. Don't let this be one of your excuses. You do not have to have a 4-year degree. Now, what you don't have in a 4-year degree, you do have to augment with tenacity, with self-motivation, with preservation, and just sticking in there. Just making sure that whatever suggestions or advice or feedback that you're getting, that you apply it, that you trust it, and that you utilize it. So, doesn't mean that you don't have to put the work in. Some people don't want a 4-year degree because they're worried about the work. And I'm not saying that not getting a 4-year degree might be even more work. So make sure you're honest with yourself. Anything worth having is worth working. We've got to change your mindset on social media. A lot of people think of social media for play. Don't be fooled by the social part. Social media is also about social marketing. It's about branding and image. And if you're looking and wanting a professional image, that means it needs to be consistent across the board. So those of you and those who are in IT take social media very seriously. So that's another area where it's a change in mindset. A lot of people would not know unless they've been in the IT industry as long as I have that there is a hidden underground job market. And I'm not making this up. As a matter of fact, you can talk to many people in IT. And by that is that a lot of job openings, even before they hit the job boards, people internally know about the job. And so they're telling their friends and their families and their colleagues. Companies would much rather hire someone that someone else is willing to recommend. So this is an area, again, that, again, it's not just about knowing and having that degree, but it's also having a network and connections, people who are willing to recommend you. Again, when we've worked with you over a period of time, that's something we can do because we've now witnessed your work ethic, your tenacity, your whole attitude and your passion toward the area. So this is something that we can help you with. Career fairs. A lot of people think career fairs are a waste of time. And that's a good thing. Why they think it's a waste of time, that means you get more time and face time with recruiters. So it doesn't matter that not everybody is doing it. I remember career fairs when people were shoulder to shoulder and you were standing in line and time would run out and you wouldn't get a chance to talk to the recruiter. So it doesn't matter how many people are attending career fairs. It's all about how you use that career fair to your advantage. Find your recruiter and an agent. Not a lot of people realize that those people that have experience in IT, they're in demand. So companies come looking for you and your skill set. So just like you think of sports or music or acting, those people that have honed their skill sets end up having recruiters or agents that actually find them jobs and negotiate jobs for them. It's so important for you to understand how the recruiter-agent relationship works in IT. So again, let me go back to the beginning. Why are we having this conversation? Why are you on today's call? Why are you listening to this webinar? If something on this list resonates with you, then Again, we're here. We're all about helping those who are trying to help themselves. So the sooner, the better. Let's connect as soon as possible. One of the things that we can offer to help get you to the next level toward getting into the IT and tech industry is through badges and certificates that I mentioned earlier. There's 6 levels of badges, starting from just the base digital citizen, then to the digital intermediate skills, those allowing you to start looking for those entry-level types of jobs. There's digital literacy mastering and teaching. So now you'll have enough skill set to even start teaching others, coaching others, and maybe even finding something in the area of teaching as far as job opportunities. There's the digital boss if entrepreneurship appeals to you. Digital professional if you want to take it to the management level, and then digital executive at that point where you want to pursue not just the tactical work involved with software development and implementation, but even to the strategic level. Get in contact with us and let's get this started. As I said earlier, the next step is just one click away. You can find out more about Technology Espresso. You can follow us, including our online radio and podcast with other educational information and interviews, as well as success stories. We've been doing this for, I dare say, 7 years in a volunteer capacity, but doing Technology Espresso professionally for the last 4 years, when we determined that the market needed a media and education arm to support the many initiatives out there and to help people to unravel all of the different ins and outs of getting into the technology industry. So we're very proud to now be a service provider, but we still very much are in the volunteer arena and work with great organizations that we'd also like to connect you with to help you with your networking and your continuous professional development. You also have our number here, 855-484-6837. Please call us and we'll be happy to answer any questions and also tell you how we can help you, and if we don't have what you need, direct you to other resources. Again, we thank you for joining today's webinar. We hope you found something interesting and powerful. Again, we are Technology Espresso. I'm Jacqueline Sanders Blackman, along with my co-creator, David Blackman. Thank you, and I hope to hear from you very soon.